What if you're trying to build a budget rig, but a standard case like the B48 from Intertek just doesn't look good enough for you? Well, there is maybe something a bit better. This video is brought to you by Recoverit from Wondershare. Recoverit is your last chance solution to get back these precious files you've just lost on your Windows or Mac machine. With Recoverit, you can recover lost files from your internal hard drive or SSD, external SD card or USB drives, or you can just search on a specific location. Recoverit also provides you with some extra features like a video reparation tool for corrupted video files or after crash recovery. Make sure to check out the link in the description to get your 100 megabytes of free recovery. Due to the 750 euro build, which is coming in a week or two, we already have a couple of parts here. One of these parts is the Intertek Thunder case. Right now we don't know if this case will make it into the build, so we thought a full review would be a good idea for us and maybe also for you. So what do we have here? The Intertek Thunder, a self-proclaiming gaming case meant for really cheap builds. But with a price tag of around 32 euros, it's fairly competitive and only needs to compete against things like the Antec NX100 if you consider a somewhat gaming rig look as a necessity. But before we take a look inside, we need to do something else. So what have we got out of the box? A USB 3.1 Gen 1 port, two USB 2.0 ports, audio in and audio out, and this LED button, which we will talk about later. Inside we have support for ATX, micro ATX and ITX. We have room for two 3.5-inch hard drives on the left side and for two 2.5-inch drives right next to the main board. Beneath everything we have a removable dust filter for the power supply fan, which is neat. The power supply is supposed to go in the bottom and the cables can be led over here and then taken wherever they need to go. So basic cable management is there. The 120mm fan in the back comes already pre-installed and we have space for another two 120 fans behind the front panel of the case. We got a nice tinted acrylic glass side panel. And of course, the most important part, this case has LEDs built in. We have a LED strip going from top to bottom, which shines through this plastic section in the middle, and the pre-installed fan also has LEDs all around it. But to have a better look at this case, let's turn everything on. And the LED button at the top now allows us to switch on and off the LED strip in the front. Now, if we take the B48 case from the 500 euro PC next to it, it's very clear that the Thunder model is supposed to be the next iteration of the B48. And I think it just looks like its big brother. But before we can argue about its positive and negative aspects, we need to put something in it. So after building in it, what can we say about this case? Let's start with the things we've liked. It's obviously way prettier than the B48 while costing around 10 euros more, and the side panel just makes it look completely different. The build quality is also a bit better, and the whole case just feels a bit more massive and isn't as wobbly as the B48. The fact that it comes with a fan is also positive. It's by far not the best fan in the world, but it's at least something. LEDs out of the box, also a good thing, especially in this price range. And the fact that the power supply has been moved from top to the bottom is also a very nice thing, particularly if you have a grey power supply which just destroys any aesthetics. And especially compared to the B48, the Thunder allows some cable management, which is a major improvement for us. Two personal things. For once, I really like hardware buttons, so this LED on and off switch on the top is great for me. The other thing is that I'm considering not having a drive space in the front as a positive thing. It just looks way better. Now coming to the things we didn't like. Even if the overall build quality is way better, you still have little things that could just fit better or are not painted perfectly. Like the right side of the panel, which has some extra space, or in the front panel where we have a white place. The additions of LEDs is a great thing, but having them RGB would make it just perfect. But I perfectly understand that for 32 bucks there is not a lot of room for fancy lights. The place where the power supply cables are supposed to come out is completely fine. But if you have a modular power supply and you need to remove or add any cable, good luck doing it in here. You will have to remove the whole unit, which is not a deal breaker, but is worth noting. Another thing, but that's rather personal, I don't like my SSDs just flying around right next to the mainboard. But that's a personal preference, and this is really nagging on the highest level. Now, all things considered, this is a great case. If you have to look at the price, 32 euros won't get you anything else that comes close to looking like this. Of course, it would have been better with addressable RGB, and the overall look of the case just has a year 2000 thing going on. But for 32 bucks, there is nothing negative we can say about that. Okay, so to wrap this up, the case is completely okay. Of course, it's not the best thing out there, but considering the price tag, we can absolutely recommend it to anybody who wants a decent case while saving some bucks. Now, we hope that you found what you were looking for, and hopefully you will stay with us, because next week we will have a look at another Intertek product, the RS04 RGB kit with 3 fans and a strip, which should make any rig look nice and may also fix the blue LED problem of this case. So until then, make sure to leave a like and tell us what you think about this case, and of course we will put a link into the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified for the next video.